Hello YouTubers, my name is X Factor, playing Caspian Border Conquest size large. Gonna be rolling around in a tank, and then also some infantry gameplay as I try to play chase the face, cap and defend as many flags as possible. But today, we're gonna be talking about the transparency that DICE is bringing to the table yet again with probably the largest elephant in the room. They finally have addressed the quote-unquote netcode in Battlefield 4. We're going to go over the big blog in detail, including some of my thoughts on it. So let's get started. We at DICE are committed to improving the overall Battlefield 4 multiplayer experience for our players. Some issues commonly referenced in conjunction to quote-unquote netcode are preventing Battlefield 4 from performing optimally for everyone. And with this post, we would like to explain what we are doing to address these problems. Fixing the commonly nicknamed quote-unquote netcode issues, problems ranging between faulty networking latency compensation and glitches in the gameplay simulation itself, is one of the top priorities for DICE. We'd like to take a moment to discuss how we are addressing these issues, as this is a very hot topic for many of our fans. We are working on fixing glitches in your immediate interactions with the game world, the way you move and shoot, the feedback when you're hit, and the way other players' actions are shown on your screen. The game received updates from the game server and displays these to the player using a system called latency compensation. This system makes sure players move around naturally on your screen when network updates arrive. We have found and fixed several issues with latency compensation and thereby decreased the impressions of quote-unquote one-hit kills in the game. We have also fixed several issues that could lead to rubber banding, and we are working on fixing several more. Below, you'll find a detailed list of the issues we are focusing on or have already adjusted in-game. We hope this gives you more insight into the quote-unquote netcode issues, and we will continue to keep you updated on top issues. The next part of the blog post goes into what DICE is fixing or investigating, starting off with rubber banding. We've made several server optimizations that have decreased rubber banding for some players. To further address the issue, there are upcoming fixes for packet loss and a customized screen bug, both connected to the rubber banding issue. Furthermore, we will continue to collect data to pinpoint exactly when and why rubber banding is occurring. Kill camera delay, player death sync is the next topic. On some occasions, the kill camera would trigger before the game client displayed the last portion of damage being dealt, giving players the impression that they died too early. There were also issues with blood effects, damage indicators, and the health bar in the HUD being out of sync.
Got him.
A fix for this will be included in the next game update. Tick rate is also addressed. Players have been asking whether the tick rate, how often the server will update the game world in Battlefield 4, will be higher in the future. Though we haven't got any immediate plans to increase the tick rate at this moment, we are exploring the possibilities of raising the tick rate on specific servers. No registered damage. We are aware of the bug where players have been firing at their opponent and not doing damage. In February 13th game update for PC, we added a piece of code that enables us to specifically track instances where this would occur. We are currently looking at when this issue is triggered and what causes it. The data that we receive will help us further improve the firefights in the future. Instant death while sprinting. At certain occasions, while walking or sprinting, a player could get catapulted at high speed, which would cause death if any object was standing in the way. This was caused by a mathematical error in the character physics code, and we have a fix prepared for an upcoming patch. Various items. In addition to these items, there are also fixes coming for issues with Levolution being out of sync, shots appearing to be fired in the wrong direction, and vehicles outside the infantry area not taking damage when fired at. Also, we have introduced new in-game icons that will help you and us to troubleshoot network-related problems that could cause an inconsistent multiplayer experience. Next up is the network troubleshooting icons. With the January 30th game updates, we've introduced two new icons to the Battlefield 4 HUD, the heads-up display. These were added to the game as a way for us and the players to more easily troubleshoot common network-related issues that may have negative effects on the multiplayer experience. The first icon, seen at the top in the shape of a clock, indicates that your connection to the server is lagging. There could be several reasons for this. For example, it could mean that someone else is using your connection while you are playing, but it could also mean that there's a network problem that occurred somewhere between you and the server. The effect of such lag is that it will take a bit longer for you to see what is happening in the game world. If this icon is frequently blinking, you might want to try a different server or see if you can decrease the load on your internet connection. The second icon at the bottom shows 4 squares that indicate packet loss. When you see this icon, your connection to the server is experiencing lost packets, which means that information is failing to reach its destination, either when your game client sends it to the server or when the server sends the information to you. Please keep in mind that packets always get lost on the internet, and that you should not be alarmed if you are seeing this icon blinking once or twice. If you have large amounts of packet loss and see the icon often, you will probably experience game hiccups. Sometimes action will stop for a moment, then speed ahead to catch up. What DICE has fixed is the next topic. Kill card shows 0 health. Kill card sometimes incorrectly displays 0 health, despite the enemy being alive. This could happen when a portion of damage dealt was rejected by the server, since the bullets that caused it were fired after the point of death for the firing player. The kill card would show the health as predicted by your game client, rather than the health confirmed by the server. An improvement that decreased the rate at which this happens went live for PC on February 13th and will be included in the next game update for all the platforms. A quick comment on that. Now we have the 100% health bug. Broken collision is the next topic. We have fixed instances of broken collision that make it impossible for players to shoot past broken objects, such as the collapsed chimney on Zavod 311. Crosshair disappearing, resulting in hit markers disappearing. In firefights, players on PC could experience their crosshairs disappearing, resulting in hit markers also disappearing. This would happen when a certain gadget were deployed by other players. A fix for this is now live. Hit impact sound. Impact sounds did not match the number of bullet impacts, causing players to feel that they died too quickly. An improvement went live for PC on February 13th and will be introduced in the next update for all other platforms. The cooldown time for letting bullets hits trigger the sound has been decreased considerably, so players will now hear every bullet that hits them. Headshot icon. We have reintroduced the headshot icon to help players understand when they get killed by a headshot. Sometimes it usually results in an instant death. The headshot icon went live in the January 30th game update for all platforms. We want to assure you that we are constantly investigating or already in the process of updating all these items and several more that you've had concerns with, and that we will continue to do so with your help. Please continue to send us feedback, and thank you for your continued support. Now that we've covered the DICE blog post, I think it's safe to say this is the transparency I, along with most of you, have been hoping and waiting for since the launch of Battlefield 4. And we've had moments of transparency, but the details have been lacking at times. When we talk about some of these game updates and patch updates that are coming, we don't get the updates till after the patches hit, and usually the patch updates are lacking and very vague. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that was patched, but very little details. If you guys are working on an issue, if you've identified that issue, if you're struggling with that issue, please do more posts like this. This is the transparency that we want. There is no shame in you guys DICE struggling with a specific issue. As long as you let us know, that goes a long way in building community relationships. It's when the developers go into a room, lock themselves in, and keep us in the dark. That means the community typically feels abandoned, left behind, and as an afterthought. The good news is that DICE is finally getting to the bottom to several of the issues that are muddying the quote-unquote netcode in Battlefield 4. And it is more complicated than simply increasing the tick rate, because if they were to simply increase the tick rate, we'd have the same issues. It'd just be a faster tick rate, which isn't the remedy for any of this. First and foremost is to fix all the underlying issues and then potentially increase the tick rate. This netcode should be as good as Battlefield 3. It should be better than Battlefield 3 since it's the same game engine. The question is, what can they eliminate and fix to get us to at least that point? The kill camera delay, the rubber banding, the no register damage, and the other things that we talked about. players looking like they're shooting a different direction when they shoot at you. All of this piles up. It's symptoms of a problem. The question is this more than a Band-Aid that we're putting on? Are we actually treating the symptom finally? I'm actually excited to see how this is going to plan out. Hopefully, after 4 months after release, we finally get to a netcode that we deserve. But before I go, let me put this little gem in the back of your mind. Battlefront is coming out. I'm sure we're all excited about it. What's the chance that it's on the same engine, that it uses the same netcode as Battlefield 4? Enjoy your day, YouTubers. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Please let me know what you think about this detailed post. It'll be linked down below. Your guys' opinions, your ideas, your thoughts are more than welcome. We will see you guys soon.